Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here again. So, another episode in the Lei Tai project. And guess what? Today we have really a really good podcast because we have the new champion of 90 kilograms, George Saade from Lebanon. And I'm very, very happy because after everything, all the world championship, November, December, and January, finally we're here, and I think it's one of the best way to start the year with George. George, thank you so much, man. Thank you for accepting this invitation. I know right now it's maybe 5 6 o'clock there in your country, but I really appreciate your time, man.
Edgar, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your invite, and I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you, man. So we're gonna start. It's gonna be it's this is your podcast, so if you watch this podcast, and everyone, it's always trying to learn from us, like now from you guys, like you are competing, and how do you start, man? Like how old you, what's your name, where you live, where you born?
Actually, I am 24 years old right now. I was born and raised in Lebanon, Beirut, Lebanon. I started Sanda. I started martial arts. Well, I didn't have a choice. My father was the vice president of the federation, and he was a coach in Lebanon, teaching in several clubs. So I would say I was his backpack. I was going to every training with him. Every competition I was participating in, every Sunday or every once per month, if there's anyone wants to compete with me, I was playing, I was fighting, and yeah, man. So I left my country, Lebanon, because of the situations. I left to live in France to do my master's degrees in France in finance, and then I moved to Luxembourg to start working here as an accountant in a real estate company.
Wow, wow, wonderful. Like, man, that's 24 year, and now you're champion, and you have your master degree, and you're doing a really good. And I really like this guy here. It's his father is a really good friend of mine. Honestly, very humble guy, and he always, since I met him in Shanghai in 2018. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In the world, actually, is where I met you there. So, hey, man. So how's everything start with you? Like, you start training when you was like a 4 year, 5 year old. How'd everything, like? Please tell us your story, man.
Well, I started going to training, as I said, with my father. I had like a Saturday that I had the training day, like from the morning till noon, afternoon. I was training. I had first class with my father, then I had the gymnastics class, then I had another class with a Chinese coach who was doing like I was doing as well Taolu, not only Sanda. So when I was a kid, I was doing both, which as well taught me a lot of balance, gave me some agility, some mobility in my legs. And after that, after the class with the Chinese coach, I had another as well another class with my father. So that was kind of my Saturday, and yeah, I was training a lot. Um, my father actually taught me a lot of respect and discipline, which is why I think now it made the difference and it made me the world champion. It was a long journey, like of sacrifice, discipline, hard work, and yeah, it is what it is. When you do the hard work and you keep pushing, you got what you deserve, I guess. So it was. I mean, I was going with my father to the trainings, and but I wasn't understanding like why this guy want to want to force me that much. Like what's happening is I wasn't agree with my father all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a kid. I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. So I wasn't agree. But at the age of maybe 15, 16, I realized that there is no freedom of speech with the parents. So so yeah, and yeah, understood what he want from me, and we continue to work together, and yeah.
Wow. And what about your family? Like only you train because you have brothers, sisters, or something like or it's only like you're the man and you have to train, you have to practice martial arts.
Well, actually, I I have a sister that she as well used to practice, but she left after she didn't like wanted to continue, and yeah, it's like yeah, I was like in school. Nobody was. It was hard for people to maybe like for her. It was hard because they all knew me, and I am the fighter and all. So it was
Yeah.
a don't wanna they don't wanna mess with me or with anyone. So
Yeah, I understand that. Man, what inspires you? Like what can you what can you teach us? Because right now, like you're 24-year old. I remember I saw you in Shanghai. You're a great athlete. You compete like I remember like big guy competing these guys and what inspires you? Like what take you there to say like I want to be part of the Lebanon national team and I want to be a champion, or it's always because your father pushed you? Because I know your father is always pushing you, and that's awesome. To everyone here who have a son like me right now, I have a son. He's a 3-year old, and my daughter. Of course, I want to be the best for them, but I hope I respect that. In that case, they don't want to compete. I understand. Like in my case, as a former competitor, I say like I don't know if I really want them to compete because it's a lot of sacrifice. But there's always inspiration, you know.
mhm.
But what inspires you to be here right now? Because I know you're training right now for the World Cup. So what that's inspiration you have since you were a kid, and then like every day, like every single day when you're training.
um, it's a very nice question. Actually, I am used to hard work. Like I was raised like that, and I had a schedule from when I was a kid. So this schedule, maybe when I was kid, it was a bit hard, but now with that schedule, I am very focused, and I know that I have certain things to be done. And what motivates me as well is that the first time I went to the World Championship in Russia in Kazan, it was my first championship. I was 18 years old. I went. I didn't medal. I lost versus Korea. It was a really tough fight, and my first World Championship at the senior level. It was a really close fight actually, and I did a really good job, but I lost 4 points. Then I went to Shanghai, my second World Championship. I was the third bronze medalist, and the third one was in Texas, and where I got the world champion. So this is as well my. It was my. I wanted to never give up because I know it is coming. Like I was training all my life to become world champion and to make this dream come true for me and my father and for all who supported me. So yeah, this is what. And actually, when I became world champion, I think now is it started. The journey now started. So I have a big responsibility now to keep that push to keep pushing and to raise the flag once more in the World Cup.
Wow, yeah, amazing. Yes. And what what you're saying, like it's not easy right now. Actually, I saw a lot of young athletes, and because you're young, man, you're 24, you're young. And I know many Chinese retire at your age or before, and it's what many people don't understand, because this is more like a cultural thing, because uh like accepting the countries from Asia, they're
Hmm.
professionals. They born kicking, they eat kicks, they do everything. But for us, it's like, because for passion, because we love this, because my dad, he's a martial artist, and then he pushed me. But what you just said is about like respect, because that's a mindset. And that's something that I always mention in podcasts, even in Spanish. Like, the mindset of a champion starts from, like, since you're a kid.
Hmm.
Because I think one of the psychological things that we have, depending the country, because that's true, that's a cultural shock.
Hmm.
How you grow up, and if you have money or if you don't have, like, something that I respect from Lebanon, and honestly, it's like, even if you're in different countries, you're training, you are like in a video training together. What are you doing? Like, it's something that I learned from Ryan, and I really respect that. And you just say it, like, it's something that you want, you're just starting. And man, I hope next time, I hope in Brazil, I hope in the World Cup, whenever, in every sport, I hope you always be in the top three, because man, you're doing great. And I saw a little bit of your final, because I was behind the scenario and everything. But man, I know you're going to do well. And and uh and I have another question. What has been your biggest challenge as an athlete?
Hmm. Actually, my biggest challenge was to I mean, every day for the athlete, every day is a challenge and the life. But the athlete, what's good about it, but the Sanda and the wushu is that it trains me to face those challenges of every day in the mindset that I was born, and the respect to others, because I have to respect coach, you have to respect athletes, you have to respect sparring partners. So this all helped me to to face the challenges of everyday life. And the biggest challenge for me as an athlete was actually to living by myself now, actually. And it was a really hard training for me, because for this championship in Texas, I was training alone. The team was There was a team in Lebanon, a team in Canada, like one person in Canada,
Yeah.
the brothers, the Rossi brothers in Switzerland. So the team was everywhere. So there was no team. Everyone was training by himself. I was away from my father as well. My coach Ryan was sending me the trainings by WhatsApp. Imagine, like, and
Yeah.
the coach need to sense, like, need to feel the energy, because in front of you, like, he needs to. So he was telling me sometimes, send me video while sparring, send me, because live, when you see it, you can feel it really. So that was a tough challenge. And but I made it. I was training at a Muay Thai club in Luxembourg. It's called Rising Phoenix, and I really thank them as well for the support, and for them having me as and accepting me to train with them. And and yeah, man.
Man,
Ryan was
that's
was amazing. I really, he
yeah.
was with us all the time on the phone.
Yeah, that's when I had the interview with Ryan, and he told me all the process and how do you do like to train, and man, I'm going I'm I'm going to tell you something, and this going to my students and my athletes. Um, it's very it's impressed how someone, you know, can be a world champion, and this is in a a good way. Training by himself is very hard. It's very hard when you are alone and there's no one in the back telling you what to do. And there's a lot of people who have a team and who have everything, equipment and everything, and they don't value, like they don't get the point, to have a coach always telling you what to do. And this
Yeah.
is not for that's for everyone, like if you have a team and if you have a good coach, you have and you must to listen and get the value, because no one else going to be there like for you like this. You can listen like George. Man, I'm in Luxembourg, and then my other friend in Canada, and then in Switzerland. They are around the world. And now Lebanon is one of the top 5 countries in Sanda.
Yeah.
And that's something that I respect a lot from this country, because uh, I remember like some, like, many countries, we always when we go participate to the world championship or something, we are the underdogs, and
Hmm.
you never expect like, oh man, this country, oh, what Lebanon, oh, what this, and Brazil, oh, US, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And this is the thing, that is something, and that's a big challenge, and I think it's part of the sacrifice too, because even if we sacrifice our life, that's another question, but even if we sacrifice our personal life, the biggest challenge is when you're training by yourself with other team. I think like you're training multi, and it's not the same thing. It's not the same speed. It's not the same essence. It's not the same basics. You have to adapt, and that's very hard. It's like when
Yeah.
you're MMA fighter, and then you go into the boxing gym, and then you go into the multi gym, and then you
Yeah.
go to the Sanda. It's everything's a whole different world.
I was really confident as let's say, put those aside that I was training alone, but I think this gave me as well, um, like I was waking up very early, like 5 a.m. doing my morning run. It's really cold outside,
Yeah,
but I didn't miss any training. Like I didn't miss anything, even though I was alone and somebody was telling me like keep pushing for to finish this set. I was doing the set alone, and I was finishing every set as I was supposed to do. So mentally, I knew that I did everything that I could do. So I went to the ring very confident that I will be victorious.
wow.
And as you were saying, yeah, it's it's a different sport. The Muay Thai, it's the same as we say. It's like it's all martial arts, but the speed, the
It's
clinch, everything is different.
oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
so
yeah,
it
and
was
and yeah, and that's why. And then you going straight to the Sanda competition is like you need to switch.
yeah.
You need switch everything here. I remember, man. I actually, when we were in the warm up area, I know I was yelling everyone. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
but but I know, man. But I was like looking the team, and something that I really like from Lebanon in this case, like the whole country, is like, man, you always together, always supporting each other. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to, and this and that. Ryan doing this, your dad doing this, and then the other guys. Even many of the a lot of the Lebanon team, he was there for supporting former athletes, friends, when I competed in Indonesia. Like, there they was there, man. Like, that is a family. They did everything to be there with you, and that's something like, man, you have a whole team together. And every time I saw you warm up, and even like, okay, the competition today finished and you still warm up and bah, bah. And that's something that you said, you and you asking yourself, and they said, man, that's what a team have to do. Even if the competition finish, they need to be focused on what they want. And I remember that you always Lebanon training, training, competition finish, training. Why? Because as you said, man, we've been training in a different countries, and that is the only moment we have to be together.
Yeah,
Huge respect,
exactly, exactly.
huge
That's it.
respect for Lebanon,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and the other question is, how do you balance your training with your personal life? Because it's not easy when you're a professional athlete.
Yeah. It's not easy at all. I really say. How do I balance? Actually, I have the schedule. So I have my work that comes first now. Actually, but there is my this is my part of my character, like this sport. So I can't, like, I have to train. If I don't train, I don't feel good.
Yeah,
So I train like for the love of the sport. So I train twice a day, before work and after work, every day, even if I don't have competition, sometimes once a day. But it's a way of life. It's a way of life.
exactly.
Um, I would say. Uh,
Yeah, man, exactly. It's a way of it's a way of life. Um, I don't know if you have a girlfriend or marry, whatever, but man, like many of us, like right now, I have my family. It's sometimes I want to wake up 5 o'clock and go and train or something, and sometimes it's impossible, you know. And I know a lot of people like who are married and they have kids, and man, we need to make miracles, you know. It's sometimes it's impossible because, oh, your baby's sick and you need to be there, wake up, you need to wake up to be there and with them 2 3 a.m. And man, it's sometimes it's very very hard. And that's why, like right now, you're 24, man. You're awesome right now. Like you are in that peak
I, I
of the.
appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I am.
Oh, you're welcome.
I, and I really thank you for you, because I saw how you were running, and to make things better and better in the
Thank you.
championship, and you have all that as well, your family,
Thank
and you
you.
were you were always there supporting us whatever we needed. So
Thank
really
you.
respect for you for that, and
Thank you.
for all this championship that was held in Texas.
Thank you. No, let me tell you a little bit of this. It was honestly everyone as a volunteers, we did our best, honestly. Um I never imagined like they gave me the responsibility to be running that the Sanda side, and when they told me, it's like, yeah, let's do it. And I feel confident, but everything with the team, you know, with all the teamwork, it was amazing, you know, like arguing with the Chinese and Asian countries, and then the people who speak Spanish, and then like, man, it was. And then my family came and no, it was amazing. It's something that you met my family, actually, my son, my daughter, my wife, and they my wife told me like, hey man, Lebanon, they love you. Like I love them too. Like they're so cool guys, man. They're awesome. They're always asking me like, this is Edgar's son. Yeah, "Oh, it's my friend." I'm like, oh man, is that feels awesome. But yeah, I think in that moment my responsibility is to give you the best. Like even if I'm, you know, yelling everyone, but trying to make the rules. But you always, hey Edgar, you need to, hey, can we use this? You know, I think you were one of the few countries that always respecting, you know, rules, like what to do. And that's something that I want to thank you, and to all the team, because you always you always there. You at time you never lose anything, and that is something that everyone there, when like Lebanon, boom, fast, and that's something
Mhm.
that we really want to thank you because of that. And and man, another question: what is, I know that's a challenge, but sacrifice. I
Mhm.
think that is the main question of the podcast.
Yeah,
Sacrifice. What do
yeah,
you think?
and sacrifice. I sacrificed a lot of things to for this. I there's a lot of I'm still young. My but the mentality is that I am a winner. I am a champion. So I don't want to like I sacrifice a lot of things to be like that. No, no. When I have a competition or I'm during a camp, I don't see my friends. For example, I stay home. I do my trainings. I work and I go to bed. That's all I do. Eat, sleep, train, and repeat. No, nothing more. I cook. I have my meal prepared. My meals prepared. Everything organized. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. You have to be really concentrated and really leave away the things that distracts you and keep focusing on the target.
Yeah, wow. And what about when we talk about personal life? If you want to answer, don't worry, but like sacrificing your personal life, like relations, that kind of things, it's hard.
Uh-huh. It's hard. It's hard. But it's that because that's what I want to do. And if the other your friends or your partner or whoever doesn't want to accept that, then it's their problem. It's you know for me it's that's my life for the moment. So yeah, the better is it's for me because I have a plan, and everyone in this life has something to do or a message to deliver.
Yeah,
So I believe that I am doing right now this plan. I hope, and yeah,
man.
this is why I sacrifice this.
And right now, what is your main goal in this year as an athlete?
This year, my goal is the World Cup. Actually, it's a big challenge as well to make world champion and win the gold as well in the World Cup. I will be the first Lebanese to do that. So that is my goal, and of course to keep busy, fighting this whole year. I will be fighting. I fought last month in Muay Thai. I will be fighting next month and maybe the after month and April. So I'm keeping it busy. I'm fighting all year round in Muay Thai and K1, maybe MMA as well. So because here actually in Luxembourg where I am, there is no wushu. There is no class of
Yeah,
wushu, and it's not known here. There is in Brussels and in France, but it's a bit way too far for me. Uh, like to go every it's
yeah,
impossible to go there every week. So yeah, this is it for the year. Keeping it busy and hopefully to get the win in Melbourne.
yeah. You're going to be there, man. Another question: do you have any ritual before competing, like before like go to the late tide? I don't know, like you pray, or it's like let's do it. I don't get, like what happened there before, like once you're waiting, with everything there and Lebanon.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough for some people. It's tough for some. It's not. For me, I really concentrate. I try to zone a bit and because because it differs from fighters to fighter, because in that area, and that before the going to the Lei Tai, you could see if you will win the fight or not from some people. So either you have the spirit to handle all this world championship, the people, the cameras, to perform at the right moment,
Yeah.
at the right time, with the right person. There are some people that are stronger than other people on like, if you on papers, if you add up the numbers, some people are more complete or more, but the champion is who wins at this moment, this time, with all the pressure. So that's what I think makes a champion. And yeah, for me, I do pray, and yeah, I think about my family and all that who support me, and I don't want to let them down. So
Yeah, man. That's what you can I know, your father is a very important piece in your life, more in this athletic life. Can you share like your relation with your father? Because man, you looks like a friend, like when I saw you, every time I saw you, man, you looks like your best friend. And eh, I don't know, man. It's a relation that I respect a lot, because every time when I saw you, it's like you're enjoying each other. And we can see this picture, man. Can you tell us something about this picture? What happened in that moment?
listen to me. My father was always next to me in the fighting world and outside. So I spend a lot of time with my father. I was going to training, as I said, with him. He was teaching the older people. I was like 4 years old. I was like between their legs doing this, and I was spending a lot of time with my father. And then our relationship became closer and closer when I, after like maybe age of 17 or 18, I start to become close and closer to him, because I understood what he plans, or what he wants from me. And uh, and it became closer, our relationship. And yeah, we are so close, actually.
Nice. What happened in this picture, man? Like that's around the world actually, but I don't know, man. That to me, like, I don't know. Can you share like that moment?
This was in the final. Yeah, that was in the final. I think here he told me we made it. We made it.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
imagine all those years, wait, like since you were 40 years and then 20 years later, man, that's a teamwork, because
Yeah.
I hope maybe one day you're going to understand when you had your son, or your daughter. um and now I can feel that, that side of your dad, because I hope one day I can be this guy, and my son this guy, like, hey, we did it,
You will be. You will be.
yeah, man, I hope so, because like for people like us, I know, unfortunately, Sanda, well, it's a very, very beautiful sport, very difficult sport, but I don't know, it's for some reason we don't have that like a multi and other MMA or other expectations. But man, before we leave, what do you want to share? There's something that you want to share with us about, something that you want, any message you want to give to the new people who's training Sanda, or to the guys who still trying to win a championship.
I would say that, as we said, if I did it, I have two hands, I have two legs, just like anyone. So if I did it with all this circumstances. I think if you have, if you do hard work and you have discipline, you can do anything that you want. So, and actually about that, there are some surprises in the Lebanese national team. They are the younger generation that are coming up. I think they will be surprises going forward. Like really good team coming up, and yeah, I think now I made like we made we made them hope that they can do that as well. So I hope they keep pushing and training, and nothing is impossible with the right training and the right discipline.
Man, thank you, man. What you wanna say something about Ryan, about your coach?
And Ryan is the best. Even now is we still talking, like preparing for other fights. Uh, I think now he doesn't want to talk to me. I talk to him all the time. He wants a bit of break. No, I'm joking, but he's always like next to me and prepare in the preparation, and he's a great person. The team is great. He the team is great. All of us. There's the team manager as well, Alain. It's a teamwork,
Yeah,
as you were saying. So
it's a
it's really
family,
great.
man.
It's a
Yeah,
family.
no, I really appreciate, man, your time and to be the first podcast of the year. I think was the correct decision because um listening someone like you with everything with that story about I start when I was 4 and then my dad trained me and then this and then I have to move all the sacrifice the challenge that you have right now and the mindset you have for the World Cup, man, it's that's gonna help us and gonna motivate a lot of people. Like in my case, every time I do a podcast, when I finish, it's like I want to go back and I want to fight again and I want to do this and then I go back to my students and you have to do this and you have to watch this podcast, listen this guy, and we always learn from each other. I always learn from you guys, and that message I always try to share with everyone else, with my students, with my friends outside of the sport. And I always like, hey man, like in US, we have a lot of privileges. I come from Mexico, and I remember when I was in Mexico, I work hard and I train hard and I did my best and I compete with all my heart. When I jumped to US, the same thing, but the culture is different because there's a lot of things like privileges we have in US, people have in US. And I always told them, hey, don't don't lose that hungry, about to be the best.
Yeah.
It's not about like, if I don't do nothing, at the end I'm gonna have something. I want to recognize here to the USA team. They did a good job this time also. Everyone, new teams, um, everyone. Like I think it was a great world championship.
Mm.
What was your perspective before we go? What was your perspective about the difference between Russia, China, and US? Because this is just the third time, right, in the World
In the
Championship.
World Championship. Yeah.
What what
First
what
of
what what was the
first of
difference?
first of all, I want to say that they are lucky. First of all, your students to have you and to have this all experience.
Thank you,
You were there from long time, and yeah, they are really lucky to have you as a person. You are a very nice person. You want to
thank you,
give them everything that you have. So it's
thank you,
really the respect for that.
thank you, thank
And
you.
for the championships, it was really 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 good because every time there is something new, and you are working more like it's being better and better every time. Like for example, this time there was this application. It was a new thing. um, it was really organized well, my hotel was just next to the arena, so that was really perfect.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go with the bus and all that. So that was great. The arena was super. It was really big, So
Do you try
so
barbecue?
I tried the barbecue and I miss it so much.
What do you think
Yeah.
about the Texas barbecue, man?
Oh well, I love it. Maybe I enjoyed it more because I came victorious as well, so everything was good. But no, it was really good, really good.
Man, that's a good experience. I think I think in my experience, like this time I was in a different way, not as an athlete or a assistant coach or something or coach, but it, man, I wanna say this to everyone, guys. I hope more people get engaged in this sport because, like for us, every world championship, it's like Olympic Games for us, and believe me, it's a huge event, and I made a lot of friends. Actually, I I I I forgot many names in different languages because it's hard. But I want to tell you, thank you, everyone. Thank you, because you did awesome. Everyone, every competitor, no matter what happens, if you win, you lose, whatever. But as George said, it's it's experience and you're learning. And I always said, if you lose, you you're learning experience. You're not losing, you're winning experience. But it's depending the mindset. I think every fight, every competition, win or lose, you're winning and losing something. But the mindset is the most important thing because, like, I remember Sorin from Brazil in the podcast. He said, "Man, I lose a lot of fights in my life. I lose a lot of fights to be there." And I think you can. I don't know, man. I don't know if you always win your fights, but what happens if you lose? What happened? What happened next in your next fight? You're gonna be better.
You're gonna be better. Exactly.
I,
You're
I
gonna
don't
learn
know.
from the mistakes and be more hungry, I would say.
Yeah, and that's the key. Like if you win, if you lose, whatever. Sometimes there's people like there's categories like only have 3 fighters in nationals or 2 fights or 1 fight. And what happened next? Okay, if you have 1 fight, you need to fight more and more and more and more. Learn from the mistakes and go more and more and more. And sometimes, yes, it's hard to find someone or another Sanda school close to you. And I'm talking about every country. It's very hard. So if you're doing, just listen, George. He's training with the multi school, and right now he's a champion. And he is adapting every competition, every Sunday competition. He's adapting. He has his own style. I think you're a very aggressive fighter. Like you're a train, and
Mhm.
and I think, man, like your size, your weight, everything is. I think in your category, it's dangerous. 90 kilos. I have actually one of my students, Carlos. He fought in Shanghai. I don't remember you if you remember him,
Mhm.
but he was in 90 kilos, and he's like your size, and man, big guys.
Yeah,
Big guys,
yeah.
big guys, and I think you are in a very good moment in your life, man, physical and mentally. And I really appreciate every word you just said. And thank you for your words about my about me. And I promise to do my best. I'm doing this because I love the sport and because I really want people around the world know more about people like you. You know,
Thank you.
because
Thank you.
people like you is people who's changing this sport. You're welcome. These sports and is motivating more fighters, and not only in Sanda. I
I
really
hope.
appreciate
I hope.
yours. You want to say something before we leave? The last message.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Edgar. And hope to see you soon in Melbourne.
I hope to be there with the team if they invited me, but if don't, I hope to see you in Brazil.
For sure, for sure,
Man,
for sure.
thank you, man. Thank you. Guys, thank you for this for if you're watching this podcast or if you are in Spotify. If you're in Spotify, I'm gonna leave the link on YouTube. Oh, George, I'm always asking this. If there anyone you want like Instagram, something like that people can follow you.
Yeah, yeah. My Instagram is George N George without S, so GeorgeNSaade. This is my
Okay,
Instagram.
I'm going to put in the
May-
description of the video. That
Maybe if you put it
yeah.
there.
So if you are in Luxembourg or close in France or something, and you want to train with a champion, contact him. I know he's a great guy, and if you want to learn Sanda, I think right now he's one of the most qualified guys in that place. So go with him, contact him. I know he's a good guy. I know him, and he have a good values, and he's not cocky. He's a very humble guy. That's very important. And I know he's going to help you. But if you're there and if you want to try this beautiful sport, try it because it's not an easy sport. I think, and actually, I want to mention this. I know many people gonna hate me because of this, but there's a lot of MMA fighters, and there's a lot of people who's doing Sanda and doing MMA and this, and they can win MMA fights, but they can win Sanda fights for some reason.
True.
So I'm not saying something bad because I never fought in MMA, no, and I'm not talking about that. But what I'm trying to say is the difficulty that is fighting in Sanda. If
Even Muslim Salikhov said about it. He fought in both, and he talked about it. The Russian legend. He was fighting at 80 and 85 kilograms. That was one of my as well inspirations and one of my idols. And he was talking about the difficulty of Sanda. Like you have to manage everything together. You have to manage the ring because the push outs. You have to get the points, the speed, the speed of the game, like how to get the points, how to steal back the points from him, how to push to put him outside. So you have to think about all that. And he said that it's the toughest sport that he participated in.
yeah, and that's why I'll mention it. Like I'm not trying to get haters. No, 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 no. But what I'm trying to say is that like Sanda, it's a complicated it's a complicated sport. That's all. Because yeah, Muay of course is a lot of striking. You know, is that the pace is different, the speed is different. Here in Sanda, you need to wrestle, you need to kick, you need to box, you need to do the tryout. Everything is the only thing we don't have is floor. We don't have like a jiu-jitsu, but man, you have everything. Like if you're bad in kickboxing and you're good in takedowns, you're gonna win. But
Yeah,
if you're bad in takedowns and you're good in boxing, maybe you can knock out the other guy. If you're batting heads and you're good in legs, maybe you can knock him out with the kick. So there's a lot of things, but I think the difficulty about like you have 2 minutes, but it's very speed and fast and pa 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 pa, pa. Man, your heartbeat is
yeah, 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 yeah. Even though it's 2 minutes, but because it's 2 minutes, you have to prove everything in those 2 minutes. So
yeah,
it makes the pace very very high,
yeah,
and to steal the points and to get back the points, and it's the pointing system. It's not like Muay Thai or MMA, for example. It's a domination or so it's more stealing, stealing, stealing. So
yeah.
the pace is really hard, and don't forget that the everyday weigh-in. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's
Oh, thank you. That's
the
another thing. Like for those, okay, do you want? I'm sorry. Do you want to talk about that thing about like you need to weigh in every day? How do you
yeah,
challenge? Like, how do you do that, man?
yeah, 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 yeah. This is the worst part, I would say. I am a really I like to eat so much. I am foodie guy, so it's really hard for it's really hard to make weight every day. With all with all the trainings, with all you have a fight, you have to make weight the second day. You have to lose the weight, eat on the scale, eat the right amount in order not to wake up and do a cardio before the weigh-ins. It's a really tough process. Sometimes we were staying up very late to make the weight for the second day.
Yeah.
So
Wake up early, four
wake
o'clock.
up early. Yeah,
Be
yeah,
be
yeah.
be on weight. If you're not in weight, you need to run or you need to go to sauna.
And then
Imagine,
fight again. Sometimes twice a day fight.
yes,
So
yes. Imagine, guys, if you. I think that is the biggest challenge in international competitions in Sanda. I think that is the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge. Like you fought, and then like um, you need to eat, but you can't. Then you need to sleep without eat, and then you need, man. It's, guys, it's very hard. It's some, and I think, in my opinion, I think it's fair because it's not like before, like you're 80 kilos, but and then you are 100 kilos. It's, I think that's like, to me, is I think it's unfair. But many people right now think it's like something normal because we always watching MMA fights or this and that, and like he's fighting in 50 kilos and next day 70 kilos. Come on, man. And then the other guy is 65 kilos. To me, it's not a fair fight. But well,
well,
there's money involved. What do you think
yeah.
about it?
Well, I think about it is it's part of the game as well. I would say, like to get more weight, and if you can drop and get the weight back, that's even harder. So
Yeah.
if you can do that because you are putting yourself at risk as well to go down a lot of weight and come up. So it's part of the game for me, but as you said, it's more fair and it makes it harder for the championship. So to weigh in every day. So yeah, I would say both have their. If you are fighting once, like an MMA, you have just one fight. It's normal, but every day, I would say,
Yeah.
it's more fair to have everyday weigh in.
Yeah, it's that's the I think it was a good decision for the Wushu Federation, International Wushu Federation, IWF, because I think it's fair. And again, I don't want to get haters, but many countries before, man, like actually, when I fought in Indonesia, I think that was the first championship when everything started about the weigh-in, the daily weigh-in
Ah,
in
okay.
2015
Ah,
in Indonesia.
okay. That was the
That
first
was the
one.
first. Yeah, that was the
Okay.
first time. And I remember Muslim Salika. He was beside me, and he wants to fight the Iranian guy. You know the
Yeah.
story. And the Iranian guy, when they knew like they can, they can cut too much weight, and they can handle, they just go 5 kilograms more. Like the next, because they knew like, man, I can be there because it's not my natural weight. And Muslim was like, no, I want to fight in 85 kilos. Like, no, you're gonna fight in that. You can go on. And the story's there, man. And it was when the Muslim Salika retired, and when he fought China, and beautiful fights. And it was fair because you can see the fighters, like the light fights, the lightweight. You can see like this, and then the weight, the heavyweights, like heavyweight, not like a lightweight versus a midweight. Like, come on. And that's why before that's why many people got knocked out, concussions,
Yeah.
and because of the weight. And that's dangerous
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
fight
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Because we are still an amateur sports. We are not like it's not professional. So 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 yeah, this is the like the level is so high. It's a pro amateur. I would say the Sanda World Championships are pro amateur, because there is one federation
Yeah,
of wushu in the world. So so it's a very high level, but still it's still amateur. So the ones that want to do pro, they can do that, and they can
yeah,
drop the weight as much as they want.
it's
But
hard.
yeah,
Yeah, George, thank you so much for this time with us, and I really appreciate again every word you said about everything, everyone, my personal, my family. Thank you very
thank you.
much, because again, people like you is the key about progressive of progressive this to progress. I'm sorry, this sport, and I hope, man, I hope you still having more and more championships, and in the top three, top two, top one, everything, because man, the sacrifice, the life that you just told us, it's really really you're doing everything, man. You're sacrificing, you have a lot of challenge, you have a lot of things between you and your family and your team, and this is for everyone. I think Lebanon is doing a really good job, from years ago to now. Before they were the underdogs, right now they are the top three, top five. And what's the secret? Communication, heart, and that hunger about to be the best. Like, I don't care if you're in Canada, I don't care if you're in Sweden, but you have your training, your program, and following and respect your coach.
That's the most important.
That is the most important thing. Thank you, guys. So another one, the first podcast of the year, and I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next podcast, and I'll let you know soon who's gonna be the next one in this podcast. Thank you again, George.
Thank you so much, guys. I hope you will like the podcast.
Of course, we like that. Don't go. Let me finish. Thank you. Bye.